if you would have told me in 2025, just a year ago, that Ludwig Kaiser and Chad Gable will be able to go into Mexico in AAA and be the most over main event as masked wrestlers, I'll be like, what are you smoking? Like, what? Like, it really, even following most of it still doesn't make sense to me. But it's just like, bruh, how is that possible? Like, this is the most polarizing match, I think, in the history of my fandom, because I've never been so simultaneously happy and sad at the same time. Like, Chad and Ludwig, they put on a 5-star main event in AAA. Shout out to the crowd of AAA. Shout out to Undertaker. They truly show you what wrestling can be. Like, if I was to show someone what wrestling is, I would show them that match, because my God, they were there for every near fall. They were there for every story plot they were doing throughout. Like, we saw color. They were doing the ripping each other's mask. Like, they had everything in this match, and it felt personal. It felt like it didn't even feel like a wrestling match. It felt like a fight. Mask versus match, which is so heralded, so important in luchador lore, and it's so important to the AAA fan base. Like, that is very, very important. And for it to be treated this way, unlike how it's been treated on WWE, on Raw, is night and day. And it goes to show you that you could be under the same umbrella, but when you don't have TKO involved, when you don't have I honestly think with WWE, it comes down to, I don't think they want to do their job anymore. Like, I honestly think they are burnt out. They do not want to do their job anymore. And when you have still your Bruce Pritchards and your Michael P.S. Hayes has been there for 30 years, like, you need to get them out of there. 40 years, actually 50 years. Like, you can't have them still there. Like, you just can't do that. But yeah, the match they had in AAA, man, was I think it was like 30 minutes. Like, but again, every single second, it just, with the crowd being so loud and the entrances, and man, like, I can't believe they got two non-Mexicans or two I don't know, Louis, is he? No, I don't think so. You got two Latinos to be in the main event of a AAA show, and both people got booed and cheered and invested and got appreciated. Like, bruh, that is insane to me. And again, if this was on Raw, this would have been crickets. Because, well, one, the WWE has conditioned its fan base to not appreciate anything other than WWE type wrestling, WWE type stories. And to be quite honest, since Hulkamania, since Bob Backlund, they have programmed the WWE audience to be very prejudiced versus anything that's not American. So yeah, it just that AAA match in the main event, man, it restored, just like with AEW Double or Nothing, it restored my fandom to be like, man, this is why we watch, man. This is why we watch. This is why we rate. This is why we get angry. This is why we get happy. This is why we do what we do, right? Like, really think about that. You had this story started as a joke with Chad Gable. Chad Gable, who was supposed to end Gunther's IC title reign, but was looked over for Sammy for no reason. Turned heel. Still didn't beat Sammy for no reason. You broke up Alpha Academy, and he basically did nothing for like a year. And then he does this weird, I'm going to learn about the luchador lore, and I'm going to beat all the luchadors for whatever reason, for no reason. And it was a joke of a gimmick. A lot of people got offended early on. I still feel a way about it, to be honest with you, even though I'm not Latino. But They were supposed to have a Ray versus a Grande Americano match at WrestleMania. Ray gets hurt. And so now they prolong this. I don't know if the idea was to end it at WrestleMania 41, but they prolong it for some ungodly no reason. And Chad Gable gets hurt. They put Ludwig in, and people are like, oh, here we go. And then Ludwig, come to find out, is fluent in Spanish, is fluent within the Mexican culture, is fluent. He has a Mexican fiance, or girlfriend. It's like, what? And he actually is embraced by the Latina, the Mexican AAA culture. And it's like, what? And it just makes sense. It just makes sense. And he now becomes the biggest babyface in the promotion, which is how is that possible? That's like if Ashe Wrestling had freaking Cody Rhodes as its champion. It's like, what? I know we make jokes about Cody, but it's just nah. No. But somehow Ludwig was able to not only embrace the meaning of the culture and connect to the fans, but again, Taker treated this character and treated this story as one of the most important things in the world. And so when Chad comes back, they start this whole rivalry, which I don't even remember when that happened. I want to say it was right before the Rumble, early top of this year. They do this whole story, and we're like, well, obviously it's leading to Mask versus Mask. And everybody's like, oh, well, it has to be at WrestleMania. And we're like, no, it cannot be there. Because first of all, WWE and the WWE fan base does not care about this story. They do not care about the story. They don't follow this story. Again, WWE has done a great job of programming its fans to only care about certain things, especially don't care about non-American cultures. They're not, it's no. So thankfully, they were able to keep this in AAA, keep this match and keep it hot. And again, the past, I want to say past month and a half, the story they've been telling leading up to this match has been beautiful. This is one of the most heated rivalries I've seen in years. And it led to the proper ending of Chad Gable in this match as Grande Americano, which was again supposed to be a joke of a character, and really it's appropriation of Mexican culture, which is what America has done through all this entire history. At the end of the day, it takes someone else's culture, someone else's love of a certain entity, and remixes it and makes it its own, remixes its history. It then lies and whitewashes the history and acts as if it's the greatest thing in the world. So the fact that they did that and then have Ludwig be the one to stand up for the Mexican culture and be embraced like he is, even with the whole incident that happened the past week or so, bruh, no way. And then they had a match, which is a 5-star match. Ludwig wins, and they do the proper ceremony where the person that unmasked has to give their real name and their history. And Chad comes out here and tells his story of, I've been doing this for 13 years. His family comes into the ring, and he's gushing blood, by the way, which that was what is going on? But he tells his story, and he says that, I respect this culture, I respect this company, I respect these fans, and you will see me again. And he gives his mask to Ludwig, and it's all respect to Chad, man. Again, he so many times over could have been pushed. I mean, they made him Shorty G. He is so talented. I don't understand how you have someone like that and you treat him the way you do, you book him the way you do. And again, somehow he fell into this character. He somehow, I think him getting injured was the best thing possible because it led to Ludwig taking over his character. And now you have the guy that was faking a luchador now getting his own character appropriated. Like, it's almost, you couldn't book it any better. So to have that happen, and again, Ludwig completely embraced by the AAA fans, and Chad Gable, the whole crowd is screaming for Chad. Thank you, Chad. Thank you, Gable, because they know that he gave it his all, and his goal was to be the most villainous, hated person in that company, and he did that. I don't know what happens from here with Chad, but just like hands off to Chad Ludwig, that even though you might have a certain idea of the road of what your career is supposed to be, there are always detours and U-turns, and they were able to make it work. Somehow they were able to make a luchador story about a mask, about a character that was supposed to be this fake luchador that was appropriating Mexican culture. Like, they found a way to make that work through accident, through injuries, through Ray getting injured, Chad getting injured. Like, it just boggles my mind that I'm like, man, I hope Chad never goes back to the main roster, because if he does, they're gonna put him with Danhausen and do a bunch of stupid segments with him, and he's gonna go back to being a goof, even though he has so much more to give. So I don't know where Chad goes from here. Ludwig, I don't know how you don't have him challenge for Dom's title, which, talk about being cooled off. Dom, just 6 months ago, after beating John Cena, was so hot. I do not know how you don't capitalize on that. But that's a common thing in WWE. So, but like, I think wherever the next event is it Triple Mania? I don't know if it's Triple Mania, but whatever the next event is, that has to be the main event. Like a Grande Americano, the only, Chad said this, that you are now the only Grande Americano. Whatever the next event is, that has to be your main event. But Dirty Dom losing, I will hope, to a Grande Americano, and now you go on from there. But I'm so afraid for Chad. Like, I know if he goes to the main roster, he's going to be done. I just know it. So I have no idea what you do there. But at least for the time being, at least Chad got this moment. I think this is the biggest moment of his career. Like, I was really thinking about it. Like, outside of this, like, what is the biggest moment of his career? Like, he never got to win the IC title. Still don't understand that. He never got to win really any other title outside the tag titles. And yeah, he beat like Rey Fenix at WrestleMania, but we all know that it was supposed to be Rey Mysterio, which, no disrespect to Rey Fenix, but beating Rey Mysterio, or at least being a match with Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania, is a way bigger deal. So, like, this is, I'll shut up doubt, the biggest match of his career. And so if it all ends tomorrow, like, at least we have this, right? Again, wrestling is so crazy. It's like, it's just so many ebbs and flows, ups and downs, lows and highs, and nobody could have predicted this. And that's what I love about wrestling. When it's done with care, it's not so commercialized, it's not done to make a buck and have advertisements everywhere, and your main focus is about the story and it's about the fans, right? That's why people hate Vince the way they do, because we know he hated us. I don't know what we did to him, but he hated us, and he makes sure to put on a product that we hated. Undertaker and whoever else is helping him did this story with care, with consideration, and with passion and desire to put on the best show, story, and match possible. And again, that main event, bro, match of the year. Like, match of the year. Like, it's up there for Roman and Punk for me. With Darby and MJF for me. Hot damn, bro. Like, what a freaking match, bro. What a match. What a story. And now I'm super excited to see where they go from the only Grande Americano here. I'm interested to see what they do now with him. And again, I pray somehow Chad stays in AAA and just becomes. I think he might be a babyface now. Actually, like, I think I saw something on the line where someone was like, when Dirty Dom and Grande Americano face each other, Chad comes down like Stone Cold with The Rock and Mankind on January 4th and helps Ludwig win to get the AAA title. I think that would actually be that would be awesome if they actually did that. I don't know if that happens, but that would be freaking insane. Like, if Judgment Day tries to interfere and cost Grande Americano the title, and then Chad Gable and the Creed brothers come in to help, like, that would be insane. That would be fire. So, but either way, yeah, what a match, what a story. It lived up to the hype. It was like, it's just so exact opposite of WWE. Like, it's a night and day. And again, it tells you, that's what happens when you don't have commercialization. This is what happens. Like, I've been watching docs on Woodstock and how the meaning of Woodstock was about unity and freedom and raging against a war that was unethical, and people were losing their lives, losing their families, losing their sanity. And then you have Woodstock in 94, 99, where it was all about profit, and it loses its meaning and it loses its purpose, and you have all these riots happening. And that's what happens when your only focus is on money. And so with here, I know that you're going to make money. You have to make money if you're any promotion. But when that is your sole focus, you lose the plot. When your sole focus is not doing what's best for the consumer and making sure they get the best show possible for whatever money they pay or whatever time they decide to spend watching your product, you lost the plot. So yeah, shout out to AAA, shout out to Undertaker, shout out to Chad, Ludwig, everyone involved. What a freaking main event. What a match. What a story. Welcome to the High Beach. This is Hayes Arcade, your hardcore casual fan. If you're not down with that, I got 2 words for you. Suck.